excuse me. The point is you're in trances and you're in comas, and that's your problem. I shouldn't be angry at you. I was once in a coma as well. It's just now it's so obvious. How could you not be awake? And even those of you that are awake, some of you say, well, what can we do? Or oh, they'll get me if I speak out. They're going to get you if you don't speak out. You figured that out yet? The scum is training us to accept their evil. They're trying to corrupt everyone along to their system to accept it. All right, let me just read you the headlines. Do I have any discipline? Can I ever do this? Probably not. Israel teams up with terror group to kill Iran's nuclear scientist, U.S. official tells NBC News. 5 years after I told you this, when it was on the front page of the White House website and got no coverage. 5 years after I told you that it's Al-Qaeda, and they admit that. They just throw it in your face and still have the same publication say, Franchi and I are insane for pointing this out. Look at that. Same publication. We're insane for being right. They're mad at us for knowing what we're talking about. They're mad at us. And then right next to it, they're admitting what we said is true. This is what the system does. This is what they think of us. This is what they think of you. Israel teams with terror group to kill Iran's nuclear scientist. U.S. official tells NBC News. Here's another one. Super PAC supporting Ron Paul is operated by 9/11 Truther. Hey, NBC, Haaretz and Jerusalem Post and UPI have all reported for at least a decade that Hamas was founded by Israel and that Israel, quote, runs fake Al-Qaeda groups who they have bomb Israelis every time they want to take Israelis' rights. Does that mean there aren't real suicide bombers or a woman that goes on a bus and stabs 15 people? No, that goes on. The point is, most of these big events are staged. I mean, it's in the Israeli newspaper. You're like, oh, you anti-Israel scum. Is Haaretz anti-Israel? I mean, if I walk outside and the sky's blue, you're like, you're against red. You say it's blue. I'm like, well, the sky's blue right now. It's daytime, but blue? You're pretty weird, man. And I get angry and I go, it's blue. Don't tell me it's red. Shut up, conspiracy theorist. I mean, this mind game doesn't work on me. Does it work on you? Now, again, notice, though, they're saying Israel works with when you read deeper, the Al-Qaeda terror group. Israel, England, all of it's run by the same New World Order system. And they created Al-Qaeda. The Pentagon, Zbigniew Brzezinski created it and used them against the Russians, the Serbs, against Gaddafi, now against Syria. I mean, it's in the news that jihadis, Al-Qaeda and others are being brought in by the West on 3 fronts to attack the Syrian regime. And again, remember 8-9 months ago when they were launching the war on Libya, I told you where it would go. And they even talked to you like you were a child and said, this is not a war. This is a kinetic action. And we don't need congressional approval. We have UN approval. More treason. Do words still mean things? Yes, they do. I said treason, real treason. And Hillary at the time said, we promise there'll never be anything military in Syria, while they were funding these groups that are now got street battles going on all over the country. And it's being reported, and there's links to this. We told you this weeks ago, now it's being reported. Oh, there are Western, NATO, Israeli, and other Arab state commandos in there and U.S. troops right on the border arming and advising. So they're attacking Syria through Al-Qaeda proxies out of Saudi Arabia. And now what we told you weeks ago is being admitted. Now it's being admitted. Iran has sent in 15,000 of their special forces, and the Russians have said they've got a military base there, they've got a naval base. They're putting Spetsnaz into the country. They've been there, and now it's going to be U.S. troops fighting Russians. I mean, this is how this stuff escalates, and you've got a bucket of cowardly trash like Hillary Clinton running all of this. I mean, they already tried to cause war with Russia on 888. And then they have neocon groups put articles out saying Jones must be a Russian spy, that he doesn't want to have war with Russia. How about I'm not a lunatic? They're like, we're patriotic. Jones doesn't like America. No, I don't like the foreign banks that already conquered my country. If there were Russian banks over here doing it, you bet I'd be bashing Russians 24/7. The Russians are all surrounded, being attacked by proxy wars. And it's not even America attacking the Russians. It's the bankers doing it. The bankers. They play us all off against each other. I'm sick of it. They're the ones taking my liberties. They're the ones funding the think tanks to write the laws. They're the ones going after my republic. They're the ones pushing torture and war. They're the ones using my tax money and then having subsidiaries that make money off the drones. They're the ones giving the big grants to colleges to shift all the big scholarships into domestic spying and the rest of it, and changing our culture from an industrial, agrarian culture to a service culture and now into a prison culture. They're the ones that have converted us to 6 million in prison. World record. They're the ones. They're the criminals. They're the scum. They're the trash. They're the outlander. They're the foreigners. They're the globalists. That Fareed Zarqawi scum up there on CNN, some foreigner Bilderberg trash, calling for world government, bad-mouthing the Constitution every week. Some foreign traitor scum on New World Order CNN trash, started by Ted Turner, a eugenicist that talks about killing 90% of the population. They're a bunch of sick crooks. And they just perch up there all day like they're the officials, they're the authorities, they've got all the answers. Oh, man, I'm getting angry now. Look at this. U.S. and Israel split on speed of Iran threat. Oh, but they agree there's this threat, so they got to be attacked. Here's another one. Russia's Putin warns against outside interference. Their foreign minister, he says the West is now a cult of violence, using Muslim extremists and al-Qaeda to take over Libya, Syria. I mean, it's true. And you're like, well, you don't like the West using al-Qaeda. You love Putin. Oh, yeah. Big fan of that. Again, it's a bunch of traitors masquerading around like they're Americans. They're a bunch of terrorists that run the Muslim extremists. That's who all these Pentagon brass are, all these think tank scum. These are terrorists, folks. They all know. They all have dinner with Alaki and Perlman. They all sit up there with the 4 American leaders of al-Qaeda, all from America. Of course they're from America. Al-Qaeda is run by the banks that run this country. But the American people want to give up all their rights and be raped financially by the mega banks and have all their private property taken because it's so much fun to hate Muslims. And you're like, well, okay, the Muslim extremists are run by the West. No, they're not. You know, guys, will you put up the Newsweek cover, the war against Christians? Newsweek cover, the war against Christians. And it's not the globalist war against Christmas and Christianity or saying churches have got to sell day after pills and, you know, and support abortion and hire people of different religions. You know, government totally getting involved in church, which the First Amendment bans. Contrary to the inverted baloney about churches can't be involved in anything. It's the opposite. Congress and the government have no jurisdiction, period. They've got their big war, but now because they're getting ready for a war with Iran, they invoke, oh, after attacking Christians all day, Christians are under attack from Muslims all over the world. And so let's have a war with them. And that's actually true. The Muslims, on average, living on $2 a day in the Middle East, are killing each other constantly, Shiite, Sunni, other groups. And you bet sometimes they have riots, just like the Catholics and the Protestants in New York getting fights, or the Puerto Ricans and the black folks getting fights. Absolutely, it's going on. And you bet they actually fund Wahhabis to come to power in places in North Africa where they actually are killing Christians. That's actually in the Newsweek article. Again, you just type in Newsweek cover, the war on Christians. It's all over the place on newsstands. I bought a copy 3-4 days ago and forgot to bring it into the office. It's at my house. And it shows the face of Jesus, a painting of Jesus with like blood spattered on the ground from some riot. And even in the article are like, oh, in Libya too, the extremists now are going after Christians. And don't mention our criminal government put them in power there. You see how that works? You see how they operate? Here, I bet I can find it right here. Oh, there it is. Yep, the war on Christians. There it is. Jesus' face with blood all over it. Oh, look, they're killing our Lord. They're desecrating him. Kill the Muslims, kill the Arabs, kill the brown people. Meanwhile, the criminals that run our government absolutely hate Christianity and are telling churches now, okay, you've been 501c3. We violated the First Amendment. We're running your church now. You're a charity, not a church. Now you're going to teach abortion. Now you're going to hand out these pills and condoms. Now you're going to hire people that aren't Christian. How's that sound? But this isn't a war on Christianity, though. It's the Muslims. And then they use examples of basically gang fighting between Christians and Muslims around the world. By the way, the Muslims have always been very tolerant of other religions. It's that you can't convert to Islam and then go back. And Christianity predates Islam. And Islam, whether you agree with that or not, says that it is an offshoot of Christianity and Judaism and worships the same God. And they follow Moses and the whole 9 yards, ladies and gentlemen. But they don't teach that in the media. They say they want to kill Jesus. That's what that article says. They hate Jesus. They want to get Jesus. They want him. They hate him. That's what they teach. That's what they teach on talk radio. I hear the Christian radio stations. And my point is the globalists want us to have World War III with the Muslims, as Albert Pike and other globalists wrote, so then they can demonize all religion and bring in this UN world religion where you're not allowed to actually have any beliefs. You've got to follow this Gaia garbage, which isn't even about the earth. All right, when I come back, I'm going to run through a bunch of the other news. It's just when I read about 30,000 drones, and, of course, they're going to roll them out in a non-threatening way. Oh, the military's just doing drills for overseas next. Oh, now they're going to be in America for you. No, they are for the citizens. Oh, the drones are for traffic. No, that Reaper is for traffic direction. And, again, they're lying to us using Pentagon tactics of deception because we're the enemy. That's why you don't have a military involved domestically. I've been telling you about it. All right, we're back live. And, again, I'm trying to cool my jets here. Yeah, my gut tells me what to do, my conscience. By the way, in the info war, if you're watching on prisonplanet.tv, you can see this. If not, go to infowars.com and go to the online video bookstore / apparel shopping cart. And we've come out with, I don't know, 5 or 6 new infowars.com bumper stickers, and I am selling these at cost. We've got color ones. We've got ones that look like they've been spray painted. We've kind of got a hipster, trendy, groovy style one. We've got it all there, ladies and gentlemen, and we're selling these at cost. And my shipping guy, Weldon, was like, all right, you sure you want to sell these at cost? Because people order so many of them that you've had to hire 2 extra shipping guys just to send all these out. Yes, these are at cost, at cost, at cost. I am selling bumper stickers at cost. Packs of 25, packs of 50, packs of 100. And we've got the new stencils. In fact, John, I forgot to get it up on the table. Will you grab me that stencil over there? I want to show people. I made these in America. These bumper stickers are made in America as well. They're color. They cost me a lot more. And I had to get a factory in the United States to make these. They're pretty expensive. They cost us $4.95 a piece, even though I ordered 2,000 of them. And we're selling them at cost. We're selling these babies at cost. You know what it factors in my shippers and the rest of it. I think they're like $6 a piece. The point is, Infowars.com, giant stencils. Now, I don't want you to wreak havoc with these, and I'm serious when I say that. They're just putting 30,000 drones in the sky with Hellfire missiles. I mean, there's no, don't fight back in an info war or anything. Seriously, actually, just put it on your own barn, an old car.